There we go. Our 10:30 class where we answer your questions. We ask everybody that starts with us, and we do have some new people here today. Hope you feel welcome. When you start, we want to go through fast track, take the test, pass the test, earn the badge. We don't teach diets, we teach lifestyle. We have some challenge diets, but those aren't lifestyle oriented. They're to get weight off fast, and we do those. It keeps the program new and fresh. But what we're wanting to do is for you to go through fast track, take the test, pass the test, and earn the fast track badge. That's where we're installing, if you will, the proper foundation. Remember that movie, The Matrix, when Neo got plugged in and all that downloaded? We're downloading the fast track system so that you have an understanding of how your body works. Then when we move into the Shibboleth journey and Tiger's Eye, if you want to go that far, you'll understand the principles of the program. If you try to take shortcuts and you don't learn that easy to learn system fast track, if you try to take shortcuts, you're going to come here, you're going to say, oh my goodness, it sounds like Algebra 3 or something. It's not. It's really easy. So please learn fast track. Then the things we discuss here in our 10:30 a.m. sessions, when people ask questions that are outside of the boundaries of fast track, you'll understand where I'm coming from. You'll understand where that philosophy came from, because in order to lose weight, we've got body fat. We have got to accomplish three things each day. We've got to operate in a calorie deficit. Everybody knows that. Easier said than done unless you know our principles. You have to control insulin, because insulin is a fat storage hormone and appetite accelerant. And you must get in adequate protein to preserve muscle. You do those three things, do it in a fun way, a tasty way, game over. You lose the weight, you reach your ideal weight, celebrate, and keep moving like we have. Sasha and I combined are down probably more than 150 pounds now. No, much more than that. More than 170 pounds, because I keep forgetting I've lost another 20 this year. So, yeah, Sasha, we slayed it. Now we're helping other people do the same thing, and hopefully put your holy hands in the air and praise Jesus, because it's all in him. All good gifts come from above. So that's where we're at today. Please ask your questions. Click the Q&A button. That way we can better keep up with the questions in order. And with that said, let's get started. Any questions? Terry's got a question. In previous programs, focus has been on calories to not be too low or metabolism will tank. That doesn't seem to happen here, even with a long-term challenge because of insulin control. Actually, that myth is true. It's true when we get into our essential fat. So once we develop a fat-adapted metabolism, the body is going to utilize stored fat and excess fat and reserve fat as an energy source. There's no reason for the body metabolic rate to slow when you're preserving muscle and you have excess or reserve fat. Now, when you get into those last ounces, last pounds of reserve fat and into your essential fat, that's what they're talking about. You can really, your metabolism will have to slow its burn rate significantly to keep you alive, because your body's thinking, well, we're in a famine or something, because your excess fat's gone, your reserve fat's gone, and now we're getting into essential fat. Like I'm starting to get into my essential fat. So I'm seeing a slowdown where my metabolic, it's not really good to do this. My metabolism, at my calorie expenditure, my burn rate is diminishing to preserve my essential fat. I'm getting into essential fat. I can tell that I am because I stay cold all the time. There's just no layer of extra fat other than where I'm genetically predisposed to carry a little extra that I'm having a hard time getting off, but I'm getting too skinny everywhere else. So in that case, my baseline metabolic rate will be lower than it should be for my body to preserve life. We don't worry about that when we're getting an adequate protein, we're exercising, and we have excess or reserve fat. You're not going to see any significant slowdown. Amanda, I'm going on vacation next week for a week. We are staying in a cabin, so have access to our own food, but what are some of recommendations to try to stay on track? What should I keep with me? I keep Healthwise hot chocolate, Coco Ringa hot chocolate, my Four Sigmatic coffee, Mighty Muffins for the microwave, my
Well, we've
wraps.
heard Mighty Muffins have shipped, by the way. Not all the flavors, but we should be getting them in this week. So we're excited about that finally. And Bio Coffee, still haven't heard. They were hoping this week to hear from that too. But I was gonna, I told Travis, I said, don't leave me alone yet. But this question I can do. I like this question, and because
Jump in
it's
there and tell the ladies what you like to carry. I know.
the hot chocolate is good, and then the cabin is you being in a cabin and being able to, you have access to your own food. So you're obviously, if you're cooking and you're doing recipes, when we go on vacation, we tend to want to eat out at the local, restaurants that are there, that are not chains, but that are special there. And so really you just have to remember your restaurant rule, really, and do the best that you can with what's in front of you. So just remembering that we're seafood lovers, so when we go out to eat, we're usually looking for seafood or steak, or maybe there's a burger place in town that we really, really love, and we will allow ourselves a holiday for that because we enjoy that one so much the way it is. But we try to have something really good with it, like a vegetable or something that's going to slow that fat bus down. So you have I would take tortillas and your own bread, the approved bread and tortillas, because really that's something that the tortillas particularly, they last longer, they can travel well. And so even if you go into a restaurant that doesn't have an approved bread, throwing one of those around a burger or something that you want, you may not be able to get specifically you don't know how they've cooked that burger, if that's what you're wanting, and and what kind of percentage of fat that it is. So at least if you can get the tortillas that are approved, or the bread that's approved, the buns that are approved, and you just pull yours out of your purse and or your bag and use it, you're going to feel so much better about that meal. So having your approved breads, your tortillas, like he said, the Healthwise, the hot chocolates are always they travel very well. There's some, of course, all of the soups, those travel well. Also the Healthwise, the high protein soups. It is warm outside, so, but some of the hemp flakes are always a good thing to take too, because you can put them on anything and get your a little bit more protein and fiber in your meal that way. But really it's, what do you typically do on vacation? What are you looking to do? If you give us some ideas of what you might normally do, and how you want to how what might cause you to jump off the track. So you planning to be perfect the whole time, or you wanting to kind of incorporate like I believe you said you don't want to completely fall off for the week. So taking something, if you know that you're eating in for breakfast and lunch or something, then take something that you typically are enjoying for breakfast and lunch. And I don't know what phase you're in, Amanda, if you're in a maintenance phase or if you're in a weight loss phase, but something that I like to do for breakfast and I'm in maintenance are those Jimmy Dean muffins. They're really good, and they're on a croissant, and so I really love to do those. And take some of the Healthwise oatmeal. There's tons of stuff you can do, but if you give us a little bit of the, what's the thing that you're looking to do? Maybe you're going to be out at restaurants, and you need to know how to be the best you can be out at restaurants. And a lot of times when you just don't know, you have to assume you're having a category 4 with whatever protein is on that plate. And then you want to make sure that you've got a category 2 veggie with it. And if you can ask them to do, if you're wanting to be really strict and really, really perfect, and you want to ask them to not saute that broccoli in butter, or make sure that they've not, cooked that steak on the in lard, then you can definitely ask them to do those things for you. Restaurants are more and more willing to change up something for people who have specific dietary needs. So don't be afraid to ask for that. And then if you're just wanting to really pay attention and be good and be as good as you can be, then, look at your plate or look at your menu and just put your protein with your fibrous carb. That's going to be your best bet. You just have to just do the best that you can with what you've got, with what they have to offer, and just kind of make up your mind what kind of week you're going to have. So it's really very easy, but I think a little more, if you wanted to let us know maybe a little bit more where you're, what you're concerned about, or what would be something that you don't want to do, that you want to have a void replacement for, then we can help you there too. So let's see. Gina, okay. I don't know who Gina's question is for. I think it's for you. I'm behind on recent news. So how did you get skinny? Are you still doing intermittent fasting days? Are you doing something clean and healthy? Still want to lose 5 to 10 pounds? And I'm not sure, Gina, who that question is for. If it's Travis, I believe maybe it's for Travis, because he just mentioned that he lost 20 more pounds this last year. So that would be.
If it's for me, Gina, I'm just following the program. I have incorporated more cleaner. Nothing is as clean as whole foods that grow from the ground and roam the earth, that we purchase, in a sustainable way. I've been doing that for years. Laura's lean beef, organic fruits and vegetables. That's my program. And I know there's a lot of perception out there that I eat a lot of chemical laden foods, but I don't. I just use them as void replacements. I have started incorporating products from the Wellness Company, but had already lost another 20 pounds before that. Really believe in these new products for people that are starting the program. They're cleaner than what you're referring to. I know a lot of the synthetics and the Ciabola void replacements have bothered you in the past, but they help people lose excess fat. I do not believe, as you and I have talked about, in a total plant-based diet. Nothing wrong with that for other people. I just have found that those plant toxins really upset my well-being. Trying to think of really just being consistent with my 16-hour fast. What I have found is controlling insulin, a 16-hour fast. I'm not that hungry. I do a lot of 2 meals a day, 2 episodes a day. I'm not really doing anything different. I'm actually exercising less because I haven't had time to exercise. I'm really disappointed about that. If I were exercising, I think I would probably be in the best shape of my life. I've had to take about a month off of exercise, and I'm really feeling it. So that's it for me. Sasha's continuing to stay lean. We're both incorporating the Wellness Company products, but we'll have to see how that plays out. We think that it's going to play out really well as we try to get rid of personal care items that have chemicals in the house. Our new Thrive program is trying to promote not just clean foods, but a clean environment in our homes. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think, as you get closer to goal, Gina, I know for me, I had to, you can start the program with Fast Track and with these very, you don't have, you want to stay with the category 1, 2, 4, 2. That's your beginning, and you have to, you have to learn it. So while you're in a learning phase, you're staying with just a couple of categories that and that are easy for you to remember, and let's learn that first, and then we'll add on as we go. So then when you're in the middle of your program and you're starting to get comfortable, you understand how to use the category 1 and 2 and 2 and 4 and the MCT oil, you know how to use those, then you can start to add the category 3s and the 5s, and knowing how to eat the potato and the fruit, and your category 6s, you know how to eat them, so you can get a little more relaxed. You're still losing weight because you're still on the journey. You're still, it's still working for you. It's still, then there may be still a lot that you have to lose. So as you round that bend again and you get closer to what your goal is, it's time to turn it back up a notch. It's time to get back, to go all the way back. Go look at what your journals in the beginning, what you were having, that you lost so much weight with. That intermittent fasting definitely helped me to get over that hump and get over get the last pounds off. They are the most stubborn, and they are just going to hang on. And I needed to get to a place where I had a comfort zone, understanding that even though my weight in my mind, I wanted to be this weight, I learned that I have to give myself a window, because it depends on what you eat the night before. It can depend lots of things. It depends on your cycle. There are tons of things that are going to affect that number. So even though you might have a number, you might need to go a little below that. And then, because intermittent fasting is too, now some people can live that lifestyle. And I mean, Travis pretty much does with his 2 meals a day. And it's something that we live with, we enjoy, and a lot of people may not be able to do that or incorporate that regularly. So if you're getting too strict, and then you might, you want to take into account that, okay, I'm going to get my weight or get a little below what my goal weight is. And then when I start eating, regular Shibboleth again, you're probably going to put a little back on, because your body is readjusting. And this is where your normal, what do we call it, happy weight, your happy range is. So you kind of have to decide, you got to go backwards and get really, really strict with yourself for a little bit longer. Get that weight off, that you're looking to lose, and then find a happy range. My happy range is about 2 or 3 pounds above my happy weight and about 2 pounds below it. And I know where I'm kind of how to stay there. That's a happy place for me. And I don't freak out over a gain of a couple of pounds, because I know it's never at this point, it's not any fat gain, because I know it's just water waste, and you have to give yourself that a little bit of breathing room, because we all have stuff that's happening in our body, and that, like I said, you may have had just a big meal the night before, and you need to, it hasn't come out yet. So, or just the water or whatever it might be. But, I feel like this, you go through cycles in this program. You start off with the really, I'm not gonna have to get a whiteboard behind me, but you're gonna have, you start off with the really, really strict, and so that you'll learn it, and then you enjoy the program and all of the variety, and you learn all of that. And then at the end of your, what your goal, when you're that close to goal, you have to kind of go back and go back to that really strict way of thinking, because you can almost be in a maintenance mode if you're not, if you don't do that. So you have to go backwards, and then, or in the intermittent fasting days are awesome for that. So, or for helping you to get those last pounds off, and then, and just find yourself a good happy weight and aim for that, because you remember that if you go back to those 1s and 2s and 2s and 4s only, then when you start eating normal Shibboleth lifestyle again, you're going to see you're going to see an uptick in that scale, and it's going to you just want to make sure that your mind is your mind is knows what's going on, and you might want to take it a little bit further. Your goal weight might change, and that's why throughout the whole program, our goals can change, and we can have different. My first goal was to lose 20 pounds, and I was shocked that I kept going. I thought, well, my goal weight may need to be even less than that. I never thought that I would be in 120s again. I mean, I'm 5'7", and typically about 128, 129, and I wasn't even that in middle school. So I never thought that would be a realistic goal for me. So, and then just be careful, walking. I have never seen when Travis was walking and when I was walking, just walking, I was just shocked at how much if you're eating right, and that just adds to the weight loss and the toning of your muscles and your legs. And it's unbelievable what just simply walking will do for you. So incorporating, just definitely getting the walking in. So let's see, I've got Delene asked about approved packets of dressing, and maybe oh, there it is. Restaurants. The packets are, Walden Farms used to have packets of dressing, and they brought them. They went out. They brought them back. They're out again. We don't know if they're bringing them back or what the deal is with those. I found a cute little container. I don't remember where I got it, but it was probably at a grocery store, probably Publix, but hanging on one of these aisle things that, and I'm sure you could buy it on Amazon too, that has it's just a little container, squeeze container that you can put dressing in. And it works for when we want to go out and we want to have dressing. I love to have the MCT and Italian seasoning and apple cider vinegar dressing in that, and it thickens it up just a little bit so the MCT isn't so leaky and stuff. But I usually will take that little container and put it in a little plastic Ziploc bag and take that with me. And that one with the MCT and the ACV and the Italian seasoning, it's pretty shelf stable, so it's pretty good. So if you haven't tried that dressing, you have to give it a try. And one of the things that I remember about that dressing particularly that I was sold on, it's delicious. First of all, it's fantastic Italian dressing, but I used to be a Zaxby's salad fan all the time. I love the Zaxby's grilled chicken salad I'd get without the little onion thingies, and I would just get and you actually could stand to add a little more protein to that salad, but I would usually just eat half the salad and get a light dressing and one of their light Italian or light ranch or whatever. And I would, no matter what I did, I felt so yucky after eating the salad, and so, full and just not good, not very good. But I noticed when I switched and would put that Italian dressing on it, the one that's made with MCT and the apple cider vinegar and the Italian seasoning, I felt really good and not over full, and just it was kind of an eye opener at how much that changed the way that my body processed that salad, even just switching with that dressing, because I know it's a fat burner. I know to realize really that I was feeling very good after I had that. It was a nice surprise, I think, to that. So definitely check out some of these recipes in the library that are homemade, because there are some really good ones. There's some really good ranch dressing. Travis, I know one of your favorites is the French dressing, or is it Catalina? I don't know what we call it in the library right now, but it's it also has some MCT in it, I think, and just using that it's really super good. I think you'll find that you feel really good and light, and you feel fulfilled, but you're not feeling heavy, and it's amazing that it's the dressing. For me, it was the dressing. So
yeah, you gotta watch it off.
yeah, you do. You don't really realize how much every little thing it matters. It really does matter. So Let's see. Thank you, Tammy, for posting that, Catalina. That's a good one. He really does like that one. And I think there's a Thousand Island one too that we've tried a couple of times. We don't have a lot of Thousand Island, but that one's really good. It's whatever they put on that
Nothing
Big
like some
Mac.
good old
Yep.
approved ketchup and approved mayonnaise at Thousand Island.
Hmm.
Does the MCT Italian need refrigeration? It doesn't. I think we do refrigerate it, but the vinegar-based ones don't need refrigeration, to my knowledge.
Right. No, they stay.
Yeah, I use the homemade Catalina. Sorry, I was dealing with a client. I use the homemade Catalina, homemade Russian. I like to take the Walden Farms calorie-free blue cheese, but not by itself. I like to mix in a little fat-free feta. But yeah, that's what I like.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Ashley is asking about if is there a way to set in the profile when we get to goal weight where we can have that 5 pounds up and down that Travis talks about in class. My goal weight is 140 and I got there, but now I'm up 2 pounds. I'm not sure that I understand that question exactly. Travis, do you
I don't either
understand?
unless she's wanting to just reset her goal weight lower than what it actually is so that she tries to stay lower. What I've told people is if my goal is 185 pounds, I'd better get to 180 before I go into maintenance because that's about where I'm on land. Once you start including more blue column combinations, a guy can fluctuate 10 pounds and still be in a good zone. A lady can fluctuate 5 to 10 pounds. So whatever your goal is, you might want to set your goal 5 to 10 pounds lower so that once you start consuming blue column, you mentally you level off about where you wanted to be. If that may be what she's
Yeah.
talking about.
And I'll tell you what, also, if you are in once you get to maintenance, once you've reached that goal and you switch your profile to maintenance, then the system looks at your whole, program differently. So you're allowed 12 holidays a month, but now if you are getting, it allows you a range. It's built in for you. So if your goal weight was 140 and you're in maintaining now and you hit 143, the system is not going to panic. It's going to be like, okay, you're good here. We're still in your good range. So no worries. But if you creep up, if the next time you weigh in and you're 144, then the system's going to flag a yellow flag and it's going to say, hey, let's just take heed now. Cause if you keep going the way you're going, then you might keep on going up and you might not, let's bring it back. Let's control it now. That way you don't, keep on adding to that. Where when you're in weight loss mode, it's more specific. It kind of keeps you a little closer to that number. But when you're in maintenance, the system understands. Travis built it so that it understands that you've got you've got a window that we're going to try to stay in. And if you go a little, if you weigh a little too many times going up, then it's going to warn you, and then it's going to be red and it's going to say, whoa, stop. You are, we may need to switch you back into weight loss mode so that we can get control back. So it's really cool that way he's set it up, that it lets you, it starts to see, and it looks at your trend and it's like, okay, you could be, you could, do damage to all of the great work that you have done if you're not careful. So thank you, Kelly, for being here today. Let's see, Miss Terry's having trouble finding fat-free dairy. Which fat-free in particular are you looking for and for what reason? And a lot of times this is, not everything fat-free is going to be works. So you have to watch for, sometimes, maybe it's in a recipe. Maybe there's, if there's milks or something that you're looking for, there's a good, better, best about everything. So you're looking at cheese for a recipe. So what I would tell you is, if you're not finding the fat-free cheese, then we would take a look at that whole recipe. And is that cheese in that recipe, is it adding protein to the recipe? Is there room for you to use a condiment in that recipe? Is there room for you to have a category 4 in that recipe? Because you could also, so we would want to look at that. If you look at that recipe and it's a category 1 and 2, and your cheese is, your fat-free cheese is adding just protein to the recipe, then take a closer look at that, because you may be able to have it, you might have to maybe adjust your portion, or you might need to call that cheese category 4 and get the, and it will be a 1, 2, and 4. You also may be able to just use cheese as a condiment. So, but really, we got to look at the whole recipe and see what it's calling for, because there are probably some adjustments that you can do to it. And, again, it's something that if it's one recipe, per week, that this is a problem for, then it's, and you're afraid of adding category 4s or whatever it may be, it's not something to, to be concerned about, in terms of your, if you're a little bit worried about getting that 4 and you're wanting to stay away from that or whatever. We've just got to look at the whole recipe, because there is, with everything in this program, it's not about just one little snapshot or one food. It's the whole thing. It's the whole, recipe, the whole dinner, the whole meal. So I would say let's look at, a couple of recipes that you're talking about and see if what your other options might be.
I may have missed part of the discussion because I was dealing with a upset client. So
I don't
sorry
like to
about
hear
that
that.
for the distraction. Well, you know how it is. But anyway, if I cover ground you've already covered, there was a couple of questions on cheese. I just wanted to say my favorite cheese is reduced fat Sargento.
Me too.
And I can use that as a condiment. It's perfectly portioned as a condiment. So we got our condiment out of the way. Then if I'm using it as my sole source of protein for like a grilled cheese, as long as I'm not having chips or something with it, and I'm having category 2 bread, that's a 4 plus a 2. So I can have 2 to 3 slices of a better tasting cheese that tastes like full fat cheese, reduced fat Sargento. To me, it tastes better than full fat hump cheese, So you just can't have a category 3 with it if you're having a larger portion than 50 calories. Brown rice, what kind of brown rice? I would save brown rice, long grain brown rice, until you get into maintenance. You can have it, but you're going to see a significant slowdown with your weight loss results if you do it too often. A 1/4 cup of cooked brown rice with a 1 and 2 or a 7 and 2 is fine. But I don't know, when we're trying to lose weight and we know that we're one that's easily discouraged over what the scales say, I don't know why we wouldn't change to riced cauliflower or Fiber Gourmet rice. I would do, or Miracle rice. I would choose one of those and put aside the long grain brown rice until you reach goal. You don't have to. Know thyself. If you're easily discouraged, probably going to discourage you if you start incorporating rice too early. White rice should be off the table, even on a holiday. You can have it on a holiday, but it's just death. White bread, white rice, white pasta is just death, processed death. So long grain brown rice, not so bad for you if you're in maintenance. You don't have to eat riced cauliflower. I love it. Tastes like rice to me. But Miracle rice prepared the right way. And now, if y'all don't like Fiber Gourmet rice, we need to talk. You definitely have a discerning palate, because I love that stuff. I can eat it by itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that stuff is fantastic. It's like a orzo.
It's a 2 plus 3 too. So
Yeah.
I can save calories and have chicken breast in that rice or shrimp in that rice. It's just amazing. It's rice pasta, but it tastes like rice, looks like rice. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. Ashley, I was going to say, depending on who is in my house eating on the day that I make it, the recipe that is called either, I can't remember if it's called Almost Forgotten Chicken or Amazing Forgotten Chicken. It's the one that's very simply chicken breast. I think it's a can of cream of chicken and cream of mushroom, and then you've got your it calls for miracle rice in the recipe, and then you sprinkle a packet of Lipton onion soup mix over the top of it, bake it. It makes the best tasting moist chicken. It's such a great recipe, so easy. So when the kids were at home and I'd make this dish, then I would opt for the long grain brown rice and put that in the recipe, because I knew that they were more, that's what, they were more likely to eat it. I've made it with the miracle rice before too, which is fantastic. It's such a good, when it cooks like that. And miracle rice really doesn't have any taste to it, like any rice really doesn't have any taste to it. It really just absorbs what you cook it in. So that was I could still have it because I'm having my chicken, which is a category 1, and then my the rice, which was a category 3. So as long as we had a good, a broccoli or green beans or something that was a category 2 with it, I could have that, and it didn't do any damage to me, and the kids loved it, and it was a great meal. So just remember that you have some options, and if you don't like the miracle rice, don't skip that recipe, because you can do the Fiber Gourmet rice, that's the way that I made it last time at home, Travis, because we wanted to try the rice, and so I made it in that recipe, and a little goes a long way. That rice, it's just a box. It looks like a Rice-A-Roni box, but it really made a lot, and it was fantastic, and it's such an easy recipe. We have the easiest things, and and normally I guess that recipe would be chicken over white rice, which would just cause starch and so in Fat-Bust City and it's so bad for our kids, and so it's so nice to be able to have that. And the long grain, truly, the long grain brown rice actually has a little more flavor, and it's really good. That's a great recipe. If you haven't tried that one because you're afraid of the miracle rice, you've got options, because you're eating with the category 1. So don't be scared to look at some of the other approved rices and put that in there. So
for almost everything that I've approved, I've made sure there's more than one option. Mm-hmm. Because my whole career has been about eliminating excuses, and my own and other people. So every excuse that I've been given for 20 years, I ask myself, is that a reasonable excuse that would prevent you from doing the program, or is it unreasonable? I used to try to solve unreasonable excuses too. I don't anymore, but reasonable excuses. Well, I can't find that. Fat-free cheese, I can't find it. That can cause somebody to quit the program, literally, because they get hung up on that they can't have cheese. So I find other options. And now we've curated a program together, co-authored a program together, you and I and the Lord, where for all reasonable people, we've eliminated excuses. So if there's something you don't like, there's probably something you do like. So you have to have that mindset going into it, because psychologically, subconsciously, you are looking for a way out. This is why I went through wellness certification 2 different times, is to learn the behavior modification techniques. And you learn that people are always subconsciously, they don't even know they're doing it. You don't know you're doing it, but you're looking for a way out of perceived pain. And a lack of variety is a perceived pain point. So we have solved all reasonable, and you may come up with a new one, I'll solve it too. So that's where we're at.
Yep. That's what's so, it's really so great. You're not lying. There's always something that you can do. And Lindsay, like you just said, your grocery store is out of cauliflower tots for the beef and tots. So you used rice cauliflower and mashed it like potatoes and put that on top. That sounds amazing. They're really, if once you start to know and really understand how all of this works together, your options are endless. There is, I get stuck on this good, better, and best with everything about our program. And Michelle had just asked if you use the Fiber Gourmet rice in the amazing forgotten chicken recipe, almost forgotten chicken. I don't know if you posted that link, Tammy, but I don't know which one it is now. But it's it does change it from a 1 and 2, which the Miracle Rice is just mushroom, so it's just a 1 and 2. But the Fiber Gourmet rice is a 2 plus a 3, so that recipe changes to a 1 plus 2 plus 3. But if you look on your chart, it's still a fat burning meal, so you don't have to worry about the it's a great option. It's such a good option. And the cauliflower rice, I've cooked it that way before too. That's one of our favorites. So I cook that one a lot. But it's the cauliflower rice, even better. So that one keeps it as a category 1 and 2. And you're if you're really trying to be really, really strict and stay away from the 3s and 5s for right now, then you can just do cauliflower rice in it. And it really is, it's so good. And it's just a lot, it's flavorful because of what you put in it. So you don't even really notice that it's cauliflower. And even the Miracle Rice, if you haven't tried that, I would encourage you to give it a try. It just doesn't flavor it. It has the flavor of whatever you put in it, whatever you flavor it with. We've done like chicken fried rice before and stuff with that, it's just it's a little bit like riced pasta too. Maybe not quite as firm as that, but it's really good. So, but you can be creative. That's how I learned to cook too. I had noticed somebody had put. My family loves Shibby recipes even more than my regular cooking. I get that because I learned to cook thanks to this program, because I just started to think outside the box a little bit. Oh, well, if I can have, this and I can substitute, I can substitute and I can play around with the spices, and especially since there's spices and, there are there's not a lot of calorie sugar in a lot of the spices. So, you can get creative and start thinking outside the box a little bit. Okay, let's say this recipe, like the fat-free cheese, it's calling for fat-free cheese. I don't have any. So let me see, what else can I do and it not make this a holiday meal? So, and that's why it's so fun to stay involved and stay learning, stay open, stay learning, because it just sinks into you, and you can start to, plan these for yourself and not overthink it, but, just start really thinking on your own about it, because you've learned and you're learning more all the time and learning how to put it together, and it just starts to make sense, and it's, it's pretty amazing. So. Pretty amazing. Thank you, Tammy. It is amazing forgotten chicken. So easy. And I don't know, there's an X in that somewhere. That's such a great recipe. So give it a try. There's another one. I always talk about the crock pot ranch pork chops, the crock pot, air in the crock pot. That's another one that we love to go to. It's got a good gravy in it at the end. Once that's made, I usually make it with chicken actually instead of pork, and I love that one. So we love that one. Travis is not a super big chicken fan, but when I'll be like, well, I'm having this chicken. We're going to do this one tonight. And he's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll just do something else. And by the time I'm done with it, he's a fan. He's always pleasantly surprised, because that's really super tender. And you also, if there's a recipe in the library for chicken in the crock pot where it's shredded chicken, and it's so easy, it's so good, and you can use it in so many different things. You can use it for tacos or for, sandwich odds, but you can use it for a lot of things. So we will make that every now and then and just use that in our, like a little salad or something. So that's a really great one and really easy. So I did have some praise reports. I guess that's what, I don't know if that's what we'll call that, but this we had last week the most amazing weight loss was we had 422 people that weighed in, 203 people that lost, and that total was 759 pounds. And
Whoa.
that average, it's crazy. That average was 3.74 pounds. It's amazing for that. That's amazing. So congratulations to all of you that lost weight last week. And when you think about everything that's going on, everybody's on, either vacation or there's a lot going on. There's so many people that go on vacation and they're actually surprised that they lose weight after they're on vacation, and they're not, your body just starts to accept what you're doing. And when you do have that holiday, it's like ready to get rid of it as soon as possible, but you can't keep, you have to bring the control back in and don't let it get too far out of the hand, because eventually I just kind of look at it as if like there's rocks in a little jar or something. And if you can put water in the jar and then, but you flush that out, but if you keep on adding, then you're going to keep adding weight to that jar, and you have to go back to, you can't forget the program. You can't forget what you know. So on vacation, you're going to be all right. Your body is like, oh, whoa, I don't like that anymore. And it's gone. But anyway, we had great results. We had all of the people that weighed in. Also 175 people are maintaining their weight. So congratulations. That's a huge deal that you're still weighing in. Maybe you didn't lose last week, but you had intended on a loss last week, and it happens. It's just going to be part of the process. You just got to trust that process. So maintaining is awesome. So congratulations to y'all that are maintaining too. Don't ever be upset about that. That's great because you're enjoying the whole process. Bye, Linda. Thank you. As long as you're enjoying the process, then what's there to be upset about? This is a journey. This is take your time, be purposeful in it, but it's gonna go. So we had a couple people that earned their 10-pound badge: Tina Grossman, Christina Lippem, and Brian Wood. Congratulations on your 10-pound badge earned last week. And Debbie Hamby, Anita Musser, Elizabeth Murphy, and Amanda Lass all earned their 25-pound badge. Congratulations on that 25 pounds lost. And Kendra Cameron earned her 10% shirt. So congratulations to you, Kendra. And we had about 6 people that earned the fast track last week. So that's good. If you haven't earned your fast track badge, that's important to get in there and learn that. And that's where you also are going to, if you haven't earned you've got to earn the badge and lose 10% of your body weight and journal for 30 days in a row in order to get that 10% shirt. And when you earn your 10% shirt, we send you a gift certificate so that you can get it for free from us. We want you to be able to earn that shirt and you receive a gift certificate, and we'll send you that shirt for free when you put it in your order. So, alrighty, let's see. There was one question about blackberries in a recipe, and can you replace the blueberries in the muffin recipe with blackberries? I don't see any reason why not. There's the same.
Berry, all berries are about the same.
Yep.
Any berry. I'm going to show Tammy Pritchett something real quick. It'll save her time and me time because we're emailing back and forth. So Tammy, here we go. Right here. She'll know what I'm talking about. Nobody else will. Here, right here, go to your site. Go to your business center. Sorry, I got to log in. Sorry, everybody. Go to your business center, go to reports, and then you go to personal link. It's in your report section, personal link. That's your personal link. You can use it as many times as you want to. There's no limit on your use of it other than somebody, you can't spam people with it. Hope that makes sense. I'm done with that, Sasha. Just saving myself some time.
No, that's okay. That's good.
And then there was another, I seen a Q&A. Did we get that one? I've never used, oh, I told her that. Okay, on the rice. I always say when in doubt, prepared, because those rice, not Miracle Rice necessarily, but rice, pasta, if you go by the serving size they say, you're going to eat way too much. So I always go by your prepared portion since we're trying to lose weight. Anybody else, any other questions before we go? Travis, we all have told you before, don't worry about negativity in people. They have deeper problems. You're doing a great job. The Lord is the lifter of your head. Press on, move forward. Thank you, Gina. Always a source of light and encouragement. Appreciate you so very much. God bless you, sis. I need to be reminded that at times. Sasha and I are both pleasers. We want to please. Can't please everybody. Anybody else? Sasha, anything you want to close it out with?
Nope, I don't think so. I think just today's theme seemed to be just, we have thinking outside the box, allowing yourself a little breathing room, with the program. You got to be, we want you to be careful because we don't want you to blur the lines. We don't want you to stay in, you can't, some recipe calls for a category 2. You can't go replacing it with a category 3 without thinking about the whole picture and how it's going to change the recipe. And so we've got to stay in the lines, but you can be creative. It's that's why this whole program and it's incredible to be able to have so much variety and just all the options that are available for you. Because if you can't do one thing, you're more than likely, able to do something else to substitute it. If you can't get the right ingredient, or you can't get you don't like a particular ingredient in it, or, there's just so many things that you can do. So, in the beginning, it may be really tempting. We have a lot of people that kind of just shut down because they can't have this or that, or don't want it, or don't like it. But just open your mind to, okay, well, let's think it through a little bit and say, okay, well, what can I do if I can't have this and don't like this? What's something similar in that same category? And just keep on, expanding your knowledge, because the more you do and the more you test yourself, the more you start to learn, because you're just picking your own, you're making your brain think, you're making yourself push. And you're making yourself go through the motions of getting getting that wheel going and thinking about, oh, okay, I can have this, and it's instead of that, and it still works, and it still makes it. Then there's really so much that you can do. So I would just encourage you to keep staying plugged in and keep learning and keep trying things. Just keep trying things. So that's all.
All right. Well, it's good to connect with everybody. Appreciate you all. And stay perfect. Stay humble. It's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way, right? Stay humble, stay perfect, and we'll have a good one. All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.